Hi, and welcome to another Start, Stop, Keep. I'm here with Alan FitzGerald. How you doing, Alan?
I'm very well, Matt. And yourself?
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for making the time. So could you give us a little bit of background to yourself and your business, please?
Yeah, sure. So I set up Practice Connections just coming up on 8 years ago, and that was actually under the instruction of my own accountant, which is an interesting quirk. So I have been in tax and accounting software now for the best part of 24, coming on 25 years. And I decided to try something different. And I wasn't having a great time doing that something different. And my accountant happens to be, well, was originally a client of mine and became a firm friend, really. He's the managing partner of a firm here in Melbourne. And he sat me down one day and he said, "You've got so much information in your head, set up a business. I'll guide you, I'll help you. But I want you to go out and help other accounting firms." And so I set up Practice Connections in 2015.
Nice. When I set up Bizink, I talked to my accountant about it, and he said, "Why are you doing this? There are lots of website companies already."
Yes,
a bit less positive, but
no, he pushed me into it. So
cool. Well, you can ask you three questions. So tell me what you'd like your accountant to start doing that they're not doing already.
look, I have to say, the guys I work with have been fantastic, right? So it's really, they do everything from doing my monthly bookkeeping, my annual accounts, financial planning, the rounded, I guess, solution. And it's kind of like they tick all of the boxes. And part of the reason for that is that whilst I did accounting, 30 something years ago, and I've been involved in tax software for the best part of, as I said, 24, 25 years. I don't want to do that stuff anymore, right? I really don't want to do it. And so I outsource as pretty much everything that I do. And to that end, these guys have been fantastic. And so what would I like them to do? That's really hard because like I guide accountants all around the country and internationally as well. And I have to say, these guys are actually doing, I can give them a shout out if you want me to give them a shout out.
Yeah.
The KNP Solutions in Armidale and Melbourne. But they tick all the boxes, I have to say. So it's instead of being oh God, I wish my accountant did all this stuff. They do all this stuff. And they think very differently from a lot of the firms that I meet, which is great. And possibly that's had because of some of my impact in it. I hope that would be the case.
Yeah, nice. Is there anything you'd like them to stop doing that they do?
Or charging me? But it's fair, and it's one of these things. I talk a lot with my clients about anxiety transfer. So I view accountants as being anxiety transfer specialists. So whilst I can speak accounting, I don't want to speak accounting. And to be honest, I'm not up to date with the ins and outs of it these days. But I know that I have to be compliant. I know that I have to tick certain boxes. I know I want to be kept out of the newspapers. And more importantly, I want to be kept out of jail. And so when I have a question or a query, I don't speak accounting in that sense. And I need a translator who can basically say, "You're okay." And so to that end, it's that I use them as my anxiety transfer just to make sure that what I'm doing is right. Obviously, minimizing taxes where possible and so forth, and the advice from a financial planning perspective. But that is where the anxiety, because I'm not interested in learning about that stuff anymore. I'm interested in making it someone else's problem. And that's where that element comes into play. So that's where I think a lot of accountants need to get that into their headspace, is that they are viewed as the translators of and holding that information or that capability of translating between you and the regulatory authorities. I have to say, my guys do it really well. So from that perspective, I give them the tick of the box on that. Anxiety transfer specialists. Remember that.
That's what you want. So anxiety transfer, that's what you want to keep doing. Nothing you want them to stop doing?
No, because look, I know this might not necessarily be some of the desired outcomes, but their marketing is good, their website is good, the service that they offer that it's that end-to-end plus, plus, plus. So it's not just a case of here's a tax return or we've done your books. It's here's a tax return, but what we can do for next year is that we can think about doing some of these things. And it's about utilizing some of those capabilities of being able to say, look, come into the office, we need to have a sit down because we want to discuss, or in fact, they, in the financial planning perspective, they come out to us and sit down and go, this is what we should be looking at because these are the benefits for you, not only into the future, but also from a tax benefit from you in the current years and so forth. And so from that perspective, I have to say my experience, and I know this is very different from a lot of others, but my experience is one that is like, I'm really happy. And that's, I know that sounds odd, but it's nice to have a positive story.
No, that's awesome. So your start-stop keepers.
Keep, absolutely. Keep on doing what you're doing. You know, like I get regular emails, the keeping that, and it's not a case of regular email just for the sake of sending an email. It's for the sake of basically saying, hey, Al, we need you to do this, or something is coming up. I think you might be eligible for a grant. Let's discuss it, or whatever that scenario. So they're very much on the forefront, and quite a proactive firm in that regard. So I'm quite happy. Actually.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we often talk with clients, exactly what you said. You want to know about what's going to help me and what's going to hurt me. That's all I need to know about.
That's it. Look, to my experience, Matt, is that, and I've done a number of keynotes and functions and so forth. The biggest obstacle that I see that the clients that engage me is that they'll go to their own clients. So I assume I'm your accountant, Matt. If I asked you, hey, Matt, what services do you think I offer? I'm guessing that you'd probably get out of, let's say you offer 5 services, or I offer 5 services, I'm guessing you'd probably be able to name 2. And I think from a marketing perspective, that's where firms let themselves down, is that they don't offer or don't tell their clients necessarily some of the really cool stuff that they can do, rather than just saying, oh, look, we tick the boxes and we do your tax return, and here's a set of management accounts and see you next year. There is so much more that can be offered in that space. And I think that's probably one of the, that lifetime value of a client, the cost of acquiring a client, all of that sort of things, and the return on the investment, but also then utilizing the skill sets that firms have built up in order to say, if you join us today, we'll guarantee you that in 12 and 24 months' time, you'll be paying more tax. And that's because you're making more money, right? And that is a positive. But I don't think accounting firms necessarily sell the fact that their clients will be paying more money when it comes to the tax, but they should be celebrating that.
I agree. One of the richest people I ever knew is a tire distributor in the UK. And he said, you know, big tax bill, we've done okay. That was his mentality. And he'd inherited it from his dad, who he'd inherited the business from. He said, I don't stress it, you know, that's what I have to pay. It's a good thing.
That's it. Well, he's in the perfect scenario of when the rubber hits the road then.
Yeah. I like your question, by the way. I ask the same question when I do keynotes or whatever. You know, do your clients know about all the ways you can help them? And I don't couch it in terms of upselling or cross-selling. It's about helping them because, you know, people will pay for stuff that helps them. We're more than happy to do it. And the hands that go up when I ask that question, you know, it's usually none, maybe one. And I often don't believe the one who puts their hands up. And it's such a big opportunity. I mean, this is complete guess, but I think if firms did more cross-selling and upselling, there's probably 20 to 50% more revenue just sitting there if they've got a reasonable client base.
Absolutely, because they have someone in the corner metaphorically twiddling their thumbs, when in fact they could be absolutely generating more revenue, more income. 100%, absolutely 100%.
Well, it's been great to chat.
Sure.
I will include your details and the details of your firm so people can check that out. I'm sure they'll be keen to have a look. So thanks very much for taking the time on.
That's a pleasure, Matt. Thank you so much.
Thank you.